Have you ever looked at the price tag on a tiny bottle of liquid plant fertilizer and thought, this has to be a scam? What if I told you that you are literally throwing the world's best plant food into the trash every single day? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are uncovering a completely free kitchen trick that replaces all commercial fertilizers forever. Yes, you heard that right. Forever. I promise you that by the end of this video, you will never buy another plastic bottle of chemical plant food again. But here is the crazy part. The garden industry knows about this. They just desperately hope you never figure it out. Because if you do, their multi-million-dollar business model collapses. So, let me ask you a question before we begin. Do you truly believe those neon blue chemical liquids are better for your plants than what nature provides? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments right now. Prepare to be amazed, because we are about to turn your garbage into pure gardening gold. To truly understand why this trick is so powerful, we need to take a quick look back in time. For thousands of years, long before massive chemical plants and garden centres existed, our ancestors grew massive, healthy crops. How did they do it? They relied entirely on the natural cycle of decay and regrowth. They understood that everything a plant needs to grow is already contained within the plants we eat. Fast forward to the 20th century, and scientists figured out how to synthesize these nutrients in a laboratory. They packaged them in bright plastic bottles and convinced us that we needed to buy them to be successful gardeners. We traded natural, slow-release nutrition for quick, synthetic fixes. But the truth is, your plants do not care if their nitrogen comes from a factory or from your kitchen counter. In fact, natural sources are often better because they feed the soil, not just the plant. Today, we are going back to basics, but with a modern, clean, and incredibly easy twist that fits perfectly into your busy life. Let us start by exposing the grand illusion of the modern gardening centre. When you walk down the fertilizer aisle, you see dozens of different products. There is one for orchids, one for tomatoes, one for green leaves, and another for blooming flowers. It looks incredibly complicated. It makes you feel like you need a chemistry degree to keep a simple houseplant alive. But if you look closely at the labels, they all contain the exact same three basic elements: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. This is known as the NPK ratio. The industry changes the ratio slightly, puts a different picture on the label, and charges you a premium. But here is the secret. Every single one of those elements is currently sitting in your kitchen waste bin. By buying commercial fertilizers, you're essentially buying back the nutrients you just threw away. This realization is your first step toward total gardening freedom. Once you see the illusion, you can never unsee it. You're already paying for these nutrients when you buy your groceries. Why pay for them a second time? So, what exactly is this magical kitchen trick? It revolves around 4 everyday items that almost every household consumes regularly. We are talking about banana peels, eggshells, used coffee grounds, and onion skins. Individually, each of these items is a powerhouse of specific nutrients, but when you combine them using the exact method I'm about to show you, they create a complete, balanced, super fertilizer. Think of it as a daily multivitamin tailored specifically for your plants. Most people think making fertilizer at home means maintaining a smelly, messy compost pile in the backyard, but that is entirely wrong. The trick we are exploring today requires no outdoor space, no worms, and absolutely no bad smells. It is designed entirely for the modern, indoor lifestyle. We are going to process these 4 simple ingredients in a way that makes their nutrients immediately available to your plants. This is not about throwing garbage on your soil. It is about creating a refined, potent, and totally free plant elixir. Let us dive deep into the first hero of our kitchen mix, the humble banana peel. Most of us eat the fruit and toss the skin straight into the trash without a second thought. But did you know you are throwing away a massive dose of pure potassium? Potassium is like the energy drink of the plant world. It helps plants move water and nutrients from their roots all the way up to their highest leaves. It also makes their stems incredibly strong and resilient to disease. If your plants are looking a little weak, or if their leaves are turning yellow at the edges, they are practically begging for this specific nutrient. Furthermore, potassium is essential for plants that produce flowers or fruit. If you want your indoor peace lily to bloom, or your balcony tomatoes to grow massive, banana peels are your best friend. But wait, there is a catch. You cannot just use them raw, and we will explain exactly why in a moment. The key takeaway here is that bananas are not just a healthy snack for you, they are premium fuel for your garden. Next up on our list of kitchen treasures are eggshells. Every time you make breakfast, you are holding the perfect source of calcium. Just like human bones need calcium to grow strong, plant cell walls need calcium to maintain their structure. Without enough calcium, new plant growth will come out twisted, stunted, or completely deformed. In vegetables like tomatoes, a lack of calcium causes that dreaded black rot at the bottom of the fruit. However, there is a massive myth surrounding eggshells that we need to bust right now. Many gardeners simply crush up raw eggshells and sprinkle them around their plants, expecting a miracle. But eggshells take years to break down in the soil naturally. If you just crush them and toss them in, your plants will not get any calcium from them anytime soon. To unlock the calcium immediately, we have to prepare them correctly. This involves cleaning, drying, and grinding them into a micro powder. When you do this, the surface area increases exponentially, allowing the soil microbes to consume them and feed your plants instantly. Now let us talk about the third ingredient, which is probably sitting in your coffee maker right now: used coffee grounds. Coffee grounds are absolutely packed with nitrogen. Nitrogen is the absolute most important nutrient for leafy green growth. If you want huge, lush, dark green leaves on your monstera or your basil plants, nitrogen is the answer. But there is another big myth we need to debunk here. Many people are terrified to use coffee grounds because they think it will make their soil highly acidic and kill their plants. This is simply not true. The acid in coffee is water soluble. That means almost all of the acid ends up in the coffee you drink in your cup. The leftover grounds that you throw away are actually very close to neutral on the pH scale. They are completely safe for almost all plants. Besides providing nitrogen, coffee grounds also improve the structure of your soil, making it light and fluffy. They act like tiny sponges, holding on to moisture and slowly releasing it to the roots when the plant gets thirsty. The final secret ingredient in our master mix is one that almost everyone overlooks: onion skins and garlic skins. When you are cooking dinner, those dry, papery skins always end up in the garbage. But they hold a completely different kind of magic. While they do contain trace amounts of calcium, iron, and potassium, their real superpower is protection. Onion and garlic skins are loaded with natural antioxidants and antimicrobial properties. In the wild, these compounds protect the vegetable from rotting in the damp earth. When you add them to your homemade plant food, they act as a natural shield for your plant's roots. They help prevent fungal infections in the soil and can even deter certain types of microscopic pests that chew on plant roots. Think of the banana, eggshells, and coffee as the food, and the onion skins as the medicine. Combining these four ingredients creates a holistic treatment that feeds the plant and protects it at the very same time. It is a complete care system made entirely from zero-cost waste. Before we reveal the exact preparation method, we must address the absolute wrong way to do this. The biggest mistake beginners make is just taking these raw, wet kitchen scraps and burying them directly in the pots of their houseplants. If you do this, you will create a complete disaster. Raw, decomposing food waste in a small pot will immediately start to rot. It will generate a terrible smell, but worse than that, it will become a breeding ground for fungus gnats. Those tiny, annoying black flies will multiply by the thousands and take over your entire house. Furthermore, the bacteria that break down fresh food waste actually consume nitrogen from the soil during the rotting process. This means that burying raw scraps will temporarily starve your plant of nutrients, which is the exact opposite of what you want. The secret to our trick is changing the physical state of the scraps before they ever touch the dirt. We have to remove the moisture to stabilize the nutrients and eliminate the risk of bugs and bad odors entirely. So here is step 1 of the ultimate free fertilizer method, the drying phase. Start by saving your banana peels, eggshells, and onion skins in a container. For the eggshells, give them a quick rinse under the tap to remove any leftover egg white, as raw egg will smell bad. Once you have a good amount collected, you need to dry them out completely. You have a few options here. If you live in a hot sunny climate, you can simply lay them out on a baking sheet in the direct sun for a couple of days. The sun will bake them dry for free. If you want to speed up the process, you can use your oven. Lay the peels and shells on a tray and bake them at your oven's lowest possible temperature. This is usually around 150 to 200 degrees. Leave them in there for a few hours until the banana peels turn completely black and snap like a potato chip when you bend them. The coffee grounds should also be spread out and dried so they do not grow mold. Removing every single drop of water is the crucial secret to success. Once all your ingredients are bone dry, we move to step 2, the transformation. This is where the magic really happens. Take your crispy banana peels, your dry eggshells, your dried coffee grounds, and your onion skins, and put them all into a standard kitchen blender or a cheap coffee grinder. Turn the machine on high and let it run until everything is completely pulverized into a fine, uniform powder. When you open the lid, you will see a beautiful, earthy-looking powder. It will not smell like rotting garbage. It will have a slightly roasted, earthy scent, mostly from the coffee. Congratulations, you have just created a premium, slow-release, complete plant fertilizer. By turning these items into a micro-powder, you have dramatically increased their surface area. When you apply this powder to your soil, the natural microbes in the dirt can break it down and deliver the nutrients to the plant roots almost instantly. You have completely bypassed the messy, smelly composting phase and created a shelf-stable plant superfood. Now, what if you prefer liquid fertilizers? Maybe your plants are very thirsty and need a quick, immediate boost of energy. You can easily turn your new master powder into a powerful liquid fertilizer tea. This is incredibly simple. Take 2 tablespoons of your magical kitchen powder and drop it into a large mason jar or a watering can. Fill it with about 1 gallon of room temperature water. Stir it up well and let it sit for exactly 24 hours. During this time, the water will extract the soluble potassium, nitrogen, and protective compounds from the powder. The water will turn a dark amber colour. After 24 hours, simply strain the liquid through a regular kitchen sieve or a piece of cloth to catch the solid bits. You now have a concentrated, nutrient-packed liquid fertilizer that rivals anything you can buy in a store. You can pour this directly onto the soil of your thirsty plants. The nutrients are already dissolved in the water, meaning your plants will absorb them the very second they touch the roots. Let us talk about how to apply the dry powder specifically for your indoor houseplants. Indoor plants live in a very confined environment. They cannot reach out for new soil, so they rely entirely on you for food. To use the dry powder, take a small spoon and gently scrape away the top 1 inch of soil in your plant pot. Be careful not to damage the delicate roots near the surface. Sprinkle about 1 to 2 teaspoons of your homemade powder in an even ring around the base of the plant. Then, cover the powder back up with the soil you pushed aside. Finally, water the plant as you normally would. The water will pass through the soil, hit the layer of fertilizer powder, and wash a tiny dose of perfect nutrition right down to the root system. Because it is covered by a layer of dirt, it will not attract any bugs, and it will break down invisibly. Doing this just once every 2 months will provide all the continuous feeding your houseplants need to push out massive, shiny new leaves all year round. This kitchen trick is not just for small indoor plants. It is an absolute game changer for outdoor vegetable gardens and flower beds as well. If you are growing heavy-feeding vegetables like tomatoes, peppers, or cucumbers, they will devour this powder. When you are planting a new seedling in the garden, dig your hole and drop a small handful of the master powder directly into the bottom before you put the plant in. As the roots grow downwards, they will hit this pocket of intense, natural nutrition right when they need it most. For established outdoor plants, you can just sprinkle handfuls of the powder around the base of the stems before a heavy rain. The rain will wash the nutrients deep into the earth. Because outdoor soil is packed with worms and natural bacteria, they will consume this powder incredibly fast, turning it into rich, black humus. You will notice your vegetable plants producing more flowers, which means more fruit for you to harvest, all without spending a single dime on chemical garden centre products. To really appreciate why this trick works so well, we need a quick, simple lesson on soil microbiology. Soil is not just dead dirt. Healthy soil is a living, breathing ecosystem. It contains millions of microscopic bacteria and beneficial fungi. These tiny creatures have a symbiotic relationship with your plants. The microbes eat organic matter, like our kitchen powder, and digest it. The waste they produce is the exact chemical form of nutrients that plant roots can absorb. When you use synthetic chemical fertilizers, you are bypassing the microbes and force-feeding the plant. Over time, salt from the chemicals builds up, the microbes die off, and your soil becomes dead and barren. By using our homemade kitchen powder, you are actually feeding the microbes first. You're building a healthy, living soil ecosystem that will support strong, disease-resistant plants for years to come. This is the ultimate secret of organic gardening. Feed the soil, not the plant, and the soil will take care of the rest perfectly. I know what some of you are still thinking. You're worried about smells and pests inside your clean house. Let me reassure you, this process eliminates those risks completely if you follow the rules. The primary reason organic matter smells is moisture. Anaerobic bacteria, the ones that cause terrible rotting odours, require a wet environment to survive. By thoroughly drying our banana peels, eggshells, and onion skins before we blend them, we completely remove the environment those bad bacteria need. The resulting powder is biologically dormant while it sits in your jar. It only activates when you mix it with the soil and water it. Because you are burying the small amount of powder under a layer of topsoil, it is completely inaccessible to flying insects. Fungus gnats lay their eggs on wet, decaying matter on the surface. Since your powder is buried and dry until watered, the bugs have nothing to attract them. You get all the benefits of composting with absolutely none of the traditional mess or annoyance. Let us talk about the sheer financial impact of this free kitchen trick. Think about how much a premium bottle of organic liquid fertilizer costs right now. A small bottle can easily cost $15 to $20. If you have a decent collection of houseplants or a small backyard garden, you might go through 3 or 4 of those bottles every single growing season. That is almost $100 a year, literally poured into the dirt. Over 10 years, you are spending $1,000 on something you already own. By taking 10 minutes a week to dry and blend your kitchen scraps, you keep that money entirely in your pocket. But the savings go even further. Because this natural powder improves the overall health and immunity of your plants, you will spend less money on pest control sprays and chemical treatments. Your plants will be naturally stronger and able to fight off diseases on their own. This is not just a gardening trick, it is a brilliant financial strategy for anyone looking to reduce their household expenses. To illustrate just how powerful this is, let me share a quick, real-world example. A friend of mine had a massive, beautiful fiddle leaf fig tree that was slowly dying. The leaves were turning yellow, dropping off one by one, and no amount of store-bought chemical fertilizer was helping. In fact, the chemicals were burning the delicate roots and making it worse. I told her to stop all chemicals immediately. We flushed the soil with plain water to remove the synthetic salt buildup. Then, we applied a generous dose of our homemade banana, coffee, and eggshell powder, lightly scratching it into the topsoil. Within just 2 weeks, the yellowing completely stopped. By week 4, the tree pushed out 3 massive, glossy green new leaves from the very top. The natural, gentle release of the nutrients was exactly what the stressed plant needed to recover. It did not shock the system like a chemical blast. It slowly nourished the tree back to vibrant health. This powder is truly a miracle worker for stressed or dying houseplants. One of the best things about making your own fertilizer is that you can easily customize the recipe based on what your specific plants need. The master recipe is a great all-purpose food, but you can tweak it. For example, if you are growing succulents or cacti, they do not need much nitrogen. They prefer highly draining soil and lots of calcium and minerals. For these desert plants, you can make a powder that is mostly eggshells and banana peels, skipping the coffee grounds entirely. On the other hand, if you are growing leafy herbs like mint or basil in your kitchen window, they crave massive amounts of nitrogen to keep producing new edible leaves. For those plants, you can double the amount of coffee grounds in your mix. You become the master chef for your garden. You are no longer relying on generic, one-size-fits-all products from a factory. You are learning to read your plants and giving them exactly what they are asking for, using ingredients you previously thought were just annoying garbage. While you are mastering this dry powder trick, there is one more incredibly easy liquid hack you can add to your routine. Next time you boil potatoes or pasta in your kitchen, do not pour that cloudy water down the drain. Let it cool down to room temperature. That water is absolutely loaded with starch, trace minerals, and vitamins that leached out during the cooking process. It is a fantastic, mild fertilizer. You can use this starchy water to water your plants right after you apply your homemade powder. The starch in the water acts as a food source for the beneficial microbes in the soil, giving them an energy boost to break down your powder even faster. Just make absolutely sure that you have not added any salt to the boiling water. Salt is toxic to plant roots. Unsalted potato water combined with our dry kitchen powder creates an unstoppable force of nature right in your living room. It is just another way to look at your kitchen activities through the lens of zero-waste gardening. Storage of your new magic powder is incredibly simple, which makes this trick perfect for busy people. Because you took the time to completely remove all the moisture during the drying phase, this fertilizer will last practically forever. You can store it in a simple glass mason jar, an old plastic container, or even a Ziploc bag. Just keep it in a cool, dry place like a cupboard or the shelf in your garage. Keep it away from direct sunlight and humidity. I like to make a massive batch at the end of the winter using all the scraps I saved up over the cold months. By the time spring arrives, I have a huge jar of premium plant food ready to go for the entire growing season. You do not have to make it every single day. Just keep a small bowl on your counter for the scraps, dry them on the weekend, and blend them once a month. It takes almost zero effort, but the results will make your friends and neighbours think you hired a professional landscaper to care for your plants. Adopting this free kitchen trick is about much more than just saving money or growing bigger tomatoes. It is a fundamental shift in how you view the world around you. You are stepping out of the cycle of endless consumerism. You are no longer looking at an empty coffee filter or a brown banana peel and seeing useless trash. You are seeing potential. You are seeing the very building blocks of life. When you start feeding your plants with the remnants of the food that fed you, you create a beautiful closed-loop system right inside your own home. It is incredibly satisfying to watch a vibrant, healthy plant thrive, knowing that you provided everything it needed, using only your own cleverness and respect for nature. You are reducing waste in the landfills, eliminating the plastic pollution from store-bought bottles, and creating a healthier environment for your family and your plants. It is a small, easy habit, but it has a profound impact on your life and your garden. And there you have it, the ultimate completely free kitchen trick that replaces every single commercial fertilizer on the market by simply drying and blending banana peels, eggshells, coffee grounds, and onion skins. You create a nutrient-dense, slow-release superfood that will make your indoor and outdoor plants absolutely explode with vibrant health. We have debunked the myths, shown you the exact, bug-free preparation method, and explained the incredible financial savings you will experience. It is a game changer that the garden centers hope you never discover. But now, the secret is yours. Thank you so much for watching and learning with us today. If you're excited to try this zero-waste gardening hack, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up so we can share this secret with more people. And before you go, I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 kitchen scraps will you start saving tomorrow morning? Let me know down in the comments and let us get a great discussion going. Happy growing and see you in the next video.